Dobre páni, to na to, ideme do 2 razy prebudiť. Je 11.8.2025. Máme tu 631. relaxačný tréningový deň. Je pondelok, ktoré sú klikožruty 100, 90, 80, 70 a 60 kliksterov. Skontujeme zvukovú stopu, či sedí. Možno budeme musieť začať od začiatku, stáva sa to. Dobre páni, to na to, ideme do 2 razy prebudiť. Ale zatiaľ zvuková stopa sedí, môže pokračovať. Takže ideme na prvú hádku 100 kliksterov. Začíname 16-15, púšťame tohto piču sa ako podmas.
Thronovely is in a spot where it's not losing numbers like it were once before. It has kind of stagnated in around 15,000 player peak and somewhere between 7 to 10,000 average numbers. Now it's still losing numbers. However, they are making a lot of changes, and we have a massive update coming soon where they're going to introduce Hyperboost servers and stuff. But there's still many things that I would like to see changed. Now, Thronovely is having like a content creator meeting, discussion about how to change the game. I am not invited, but that's why I want to make this video, to give my input, and hopefully they can take some of this and fix the game, because I want the game to do good and succeed. So let's just jump into it and see how we can fix this game. The first thing I want to talk about is alliances. Yes, I talked about alliances for almost half a year or a year now, and alliances were good at the start of the game because people were, playing this game, figuring out, doing massive PvP. It was fun stuff. People were doing sieges and stuff, and sieges were really fun. But now you're in a place where you don't have a lot of players playing the game, and alliances are dominating absolutely everywhere because all the whales are inside the big guilds. And then all the big guilds are allying together so they can get all the loot. Nobody cares about competition anymore. Nobody cares about competing. People just want all the loot. So when there's Nebula stuff or there's Siege or any alliance-related things, it's just one major alliance. Maybe if you're lucky, you're in some server and you have a smaller alliance fighting the big alliance, but usually the big alliance just gets absolutely everything, which leads to only 3 or 4 guilds fighting, or 3 or 4 guilds, and all the other guilds cannot compete in that content. They can't come to Nebula, they can't come to Siege, and it just becomes boring. And it even becomes boring for the winners, because even though you're getting loot, you're not getting any fun out of the competition or the PvP. So in my opinion, if they remove the alliance system completely, it will make it more fun. Now, how will that change the PvP? You're probably asking, like, how would that change? That will lead to, instead of having one big alliance fighting a smaller alliance, you will have all the guilds,
90 klikov, že to 90
how many guilds there are in your server. They all will participate, will all fight each other. So it's going to be a bunch of 1v1s. Of course, there's going to be always shadow alliances, but way harder to coordinate and control, and in my opinion will make the PvP way more rewarding. Everybody has a same chance to get loot and win, no matter your guild size, and I think that will make guilds way more active and the PvP way more competitive. So no longer you can just sit there with your major big alliance and just win everything. And I've been in one of those alliances, don't get me wrong, like we were getting loot and stuff, but in my opinion it was boring because either people just leave the server and go get some loot, or they just join your alliance. It just becomes super stale and not competitive at all. So removing alliances, I think, is the main important thing that they have to do ASAP. Second thing is we have weapon swapping in this game, right? You can swap to whatever weapon you want, which, in my opinion, I think is a great idea, but people are starting to hate because in every single MMO we played recently where you can swap weapons, they make it impossible for you to swap weapons. The only people that are actually swapping weapons and changing weapons and leveling them up are whales. Is that a coincidence? They make it so difficult because you need to buy the gear, you need to get the weapon mastery, you need to have everything correctly, and this is expensive. If you're gonna get like arc boss weapons and stuff, and you're gonna compete in PvP and stuff, because sometimes some classes are just stronger. The game just does it. So weapon swapping, I think, should be a way easier way to do it. Either way to trade your gear into a different type of gear, like some MMOs have. Maybe pay a little bit, which is fine. To swap your gear. Something, it should be a much easier process than what it is currently. It's way too expensive. Me, I play since day one. I tried to dibble in a spear, but it's just too difficult for me because I don't play enough to have the weapon mastery. I haven't spent any money in this game, so I don't have the Lucent to do a swap. So if you have this option in this game to swap weapons, but it's so hard to do it, it makes no sense to me. So make swapping weapons, they need to be an easier way to test out different classes or test out different weapons and change your gear to it so you can match it. So hopefully they do something about this. I think it's a really important thing. And since we're talking about weapons, I gotta talk about heroics. Heroics is a great addition to the game. I don't like it because it is extremely pay to win. I mean, I made a video on it very recently where it comes to like trading it. Like, look at this. To trade, to get the trade, you need to pay $100 per trade. So you need $300 just to heroic trade it. And you need insane amount of materials, which is fine. Leveling it up slowly is fine, but heroic trades are just expensive. But what I want to talk about is the trades. When you have a heroic weapon, you can only wield one heroic on your gear piece, right? Now, I got hit chance on it, but I should have the ability, once max, or maybe if you hit level 12 or whatever, or you max traded, I should have the option to swap the trade on the heroic weapon, not the other, on the heroic weapon, to whatever I want, like this, without paying anything. Because a heroic weapon should be able to work for both PvP and PvE. You shouldn't have to either select PvP traits or PvE traits, right? Or you have to like compensate. As a heroic, it's a legendary weapon, you should be able to swap the trait whatever I want. So if I want to, let's say I want to do PvP now, and PvE now, I can be like, yo, I'm going to swap my hit chance to attack speed, done. When I have it maxed out. It makes no sense. Heroic weapons are so good, it takes so much grind, and you have to pay every single time to swap it because you want to do PvP. Makes no sense to me. So heroic weapons, you should be able to swap the trades for free once it's maxed.
On má namaxované trady na heroické zbraní, to je chorý človek, to je jebo. Ale nemáš takú sériu. 70 klikov do 70 kliksterov.
You're probably thinking people are just going to buy the cheapest trade and then max it out and swap it, which is fine because that will balance the prices in the auction house, guys, which will be even better. So some trades will be super expensive, so trades won't be super cheap. All will reach a good level, and at the end of the day, it will be much better for us as players to be able to do PvP and PvE or whatever we want with our heroic weapon that we finally got. So hopefully they do that. Next up, we want to talk about our new players. Now, they are adding Hyperboost servers, which is good. However, new players still struggle to catch up. And the main ways new players struggle is, of course, they make absolutely no Lucent because, you need to drop the relevant gear to get it, and none of them are going to get it. They probably have to pay to win and stuff. But what they could do to make it easier for new players is the roots is one of the hardest things to level up. I finished, look at this. I finished my season ranking, guys, all of this, and I did last season too. And look at this thing. Look at my root levels. I have skill damage resistance at level 77. You can see it underneath my face. At 77, skill damage resistance. It's not even close to 90, right? When it comes to dimensional trials. If I cannot get it even above 80, how are new players supposed to do this? Huh? How are they even going to get a chance to increase the combat power or anything? You're just increasing root levels for like the hardcore players, but that just means that the new players can never catch up. So there needs to be a catch-up mechanic for root levels.
Dobre, ideme posledná séria,
priateľ.
priateľ. 60 klikov, 60 kliksterov.
The second thing is weapon mastery. I played this game since the start, but I took a break. My weapon mastery is only 172. And most of the people that are hardcore playing are 200, who grind every single day. But weapon mastery is really hard to level up to in this game. They need to make it, either you obtain more weapon mastery now, or some, I know you can get black ammo weapons, but they're just for endgame players. New players get nothing. You have to think, new players don't have black ammo weapons, they don't barely have any good food, they barely get probably any abyssal contracts, right? So they need to make catch-up mechanics for those things, and they should get some kind of epic set right now so they can hit 5k CP. 5k CP will help a lot of new players because then they can enter the raid and can start grinding on their heroic weapon.
A ty si kokot. Si chorý kokot, trepeš totálne hnoje. Dobre, je to za nami, páni, je to za nami. On trepe totálne sračky. Je úplný imbecil, chorý. Natrejtuje si legendárnu zbraň na polo, ten jebo. Natretuje si legendárnu zbraň. Natretuje si legendárnu zbraň naplno. To je jebo. Chudý človek. Plný imbecil. Dobre, je to znamená páni. Zrekapitulujeme tú servátku. To je úplný jebo. 631. relaxačný tréningový deň za nami, bol 11.8.2025, skončili sme 16.25, segment trval 10 minút a 40 sekúnd, solidné číslo.